Hong Kong police can now demand phone passwords under a new national security rules. This article starts out Hong Kong police can now demand phone or computer passwords from those who are suspected of breaching the wide ranging national security law. Those who refuse could face up to a year in jail and a fine of up to 100,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is about 12,000 US dollars. Individuals who provide false or misleading information could face up to 3 years in jail. It comes as part of new amendments to a bylaw under the national security law that the government gazetted on Monday. Of course, this is an issue that we have talked about in other countries. In the UK, for example, this is a problem right now that we know of. It's also kind of a gray area in US law where you technically don't have to provide this information, but what they can do with you in the meantime is kind of up in the air and not decided. We've seen stories certainly of people being held in temporary jails for years or more because they didn't decide to comply with sharing their passwords with police, or they simply forgot their passwords and weren't able to, which is always a possibility. And in a lot of cases, it is exactly used to quash dissent or target people who otherwise haven't committed crimes. This is a big part of the issues that we see with encryption in general and end to end encryption, where governments really want to make any form of encryption or end to end encryption illegal, simply the act of using it, because it certainly makes it much easier to investigate crimes if you don't actually have to do any investigation of the crime or any of the data involved. If you can just say, hey, the fact that this encrypted data exists is a crime enough that can be used to target a lot of people who have otherwise done nothing wrong. And it wouldn't surprise me to see the same thing happen here. There's a couple stories mentioned in this BBC article, if you want to check it out later, about some examples of activists and other big names in the area being sentenced to jail or being targeted by laws that expand on this kind of NSL, national security law. It's definitely being used to target protesters, activists, former opposition lawmakers, even in Hong Kong. So it's something that we could certainly see expand to other countries. And it's something that if other countries aren't doing this, there are at least plans to do something like this, which is bad news for everyone around the world.
It's really unfortunate because I'm with you. This is something I think we could see here in America, in the UK, if it's not already. I mean, anywhere really. And it's such a things get really bad once we go downhill like that. They could face a fine or jail for providing false or misleading information. So, like, my first thought is if you have a graphene phone and they're like, oh, what's your passcode? And you give them the duress pin that wipes the phone, congratulations, you're still going to jail because that wasn't the pin and you knew it. You knew that wasn't what they meant.